the constructivist theory of learning. According to the great learner theorists like Cobb, Piaget, and Vygotsky, the individual constructs new knowledge and understands things based on what they already know and what they already believe. In the book, How People Learn, the authors state that a logical extension of this information is that new knowledge must be constructed from existing knowledge. We as teachers need to be aware of where our students are coming from, what their pre-existing knowledge is, what their beliefs and false beliefs are that they bring to our classroom. The other day, I was invited to come and give an inspirational speech to a local baseball and soccer league. It was a story about not giving up and striving to reach our highest goals. Let me recount the story I told them. A story about a king and his kingdom.
Once upon a time, a beautiful princess was banished from her kingdom. In her embarrassment, she wove herself a cape and hood of rushes to conceal her identity. She journeyed very far away, all the way to a new kingdom and to a new castle, where she banged on the door asking for work and was sent to the kitchen as a cook. Even though no one who lived in the land would recognize her, she still hid beneath her cape and hood of rushes, and so was called Cape of Rushes. One day the prince of the castle decided to throw a ball, and everyone was invited.
Stop! What's wrong with this picture? Is it possible our young soccer players don't know what a prince's ball is? Shouldn't it look like this? Did we check for their understanding before we told the story?
The prince got down on one knee and told her that if she agreed to marry him, he would never ask her those questions again. And so, they lived happily ever after. The end.
According to How People Learn, 2000, a common misconception about the constructivist theory of learning is that teachers should never tell students anything directly, but instead should always allow the students to construct knowledge for themselves. The constructivists acknowledge that all learning is constructed from previous knowledge, irrespective of how one is taught. Examples is Cobb, 1994. Even listening to a lecture or a story is a form of constructivist learning.
More on the constructivist theory. We have to recognize that there is no such thing as knowledge out there, independent of the knower, but only knowledge we construct for ourselves as we learn. Learning is not understanding the true nature of things, nor is it, as Plato suggested, remembering dimly perceived perfect ideas, but rather a personal and social construction of meaning out of the bewildering array of sensations which have no order or structure besides the explanations, and I stress the plural, which we fabricate for them. As teachers who subscribe to the constructivist principles of learning, we need to keep in mind what we consider to be our roles as educators. Below is a list derived from the works of Professor George E. Hine of Lesley College in the state of Massachusetts, 1991. 1. Learning is an active process. 2. People learn to learn as they learn. 3. The crucial action of constructing meaning is mental. 4. Learning involves language. 5. Learning is a social activity. 6. Learning is contextual. 7. One needs knowledge to learn. takes time to learn. 9. Motivation is a key component in learning. According to Dr. Elizabeth Murphy, Memorial University of Newfoundland professor, Constructivism is often articulated in a stark contrast to the behaviorist model of learning. Constructivism is interested in the study of changes in mental states as opposed to changes manifested in behavior. Central to constructivism is its conception of learning. From the constructivist perspective, learning is not a stimulus-response phenomenon. It requires self-regulation and the building of conceptual structures through reflection and abstraction. Rather than behaviors or skills as the goal of instruction, concept development and deep understanding are the focus. For educators, the challenge is to be able to build a hypothetical model of the conceptual worlds of students, since these worlds could be very different from what is intended by the educator. In this paradigm, learning emphasizes the process and not the product. How one arrives at a particular answer and not the retrieval of an objectively true solution is what is important. Learning is a process of constructing meaningful representations, of making sense of one's experiential world. In this process, students' errors are seen in a positive light and as a means of gaining insight into how they are organizing their experiential world. Constructivism does not claim to have made earth-shaking inventions in the area of education. It merely claims to provide a solid conceptual basis for some of the things that, until now, inspired teachers had to do without theoretical foundation.